All right, so inequalities are greater than, less than, greater than, or equal to, less than, or equal to. These are inequalities. That symbol is called an inequality. What's your question?
How could something be less than and equal to?
It's less than or equal to.
Yeah.
So, solving inequalities, these are inequalities. So what's going to happen is we're going to have a math problem, and instead of an equal sign, it will say an inequality. Instead of an equal sign,
It will say like blank.
it'll have an inequality. So,
I know.
for example, ladies and gentlemen, are you focused? For example, you will have negative 4 parentheses negative 4 plus x is greater than or equal to 56. Jaden, stay focused, please. So we have, instead of an equal sign, we have an inequality. Because if this problem said negative 4 parentheses negative 4 plus x equals 56, what would you do first to solve this problem? Distribute. I mean, it's the same thing. Even though this has an inequality, we're still, let's skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. The first thing we look is, do we need to distribute? And maybe yes, maybe no. Emmanuel, you should be taking notes. Do you need to distribute? Maybe yes, maybe no. And if I look at this problem, yes, I do need to distribute. So negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. Negative 4 times 1x is negative 4x is greater than or equal to 56. So, like, I still have the same expectations. Now, in this problem, I don't have to. But what is my next possible?
Combine like terms.
Combine like terms. And in this example, we do not need to combine like terms. But that's what we look for next. And in this problem, I don't have to. And after we combine like terms, in this problem, I don't have to do it. But what's my second thing I look for? Or my third thing? Has to do with something that's smaller.
Move the smaller variable.
Move the smaller variable. But I don't need to in this one, right? Because variable variable. And in this problem, I can skip step 3 because I don't have a smaller variable. I only have one variable, so I don't need to worry about that. And then step 4 is move the constant. Good. So let's move the constant first, right?
Yeah.
So do I have a constant in this problem? Yes. Minus 16. Minus 16.
40.
So I get negative 4x is greater than or equal to 40. And then, Emmanuel, will you come sit in this gray table, please? This gray desk. Number 4 is move the constant. Number 5 is
The coefficient.
move the coefficient. Now, this is the twist. Coefficient. This is the twist. If the coefficient is negative, if the coefficient is negative, if the coefficient is negative, flip the inequality.
Oh, so you make it, if it's less than and equal to, you make it greater than or equal to.
Correct. Only if the coefficient is negative. If your coefficient is positive, nothing happens. Just do the math and move on.
This is not, oh yeah, it is a negative.
But if your coefficient is negative, you have to flip the sign around. So, I'm going to divide by -4, correct? And my coefficient that I divided by is negative,
Oh.
meaning that it's x, and instead of x is greater than or equal to,
Less than or equal to.
it's less than or equal to. And what's 40 divided by -4?
Negative 10.
-10.
So negative, the coefficient still says negative after you flip it?
The number will be negative or positive depending on how it works out.
So it stays negative.
It stays, I don't want to say stays negative because it depends on, like if this was -40, right?
Yeah.
Divided by -4, that answer's positive.
Yeah, but like when you go to divide it, if it's a negative number, it always stays negative when you divide it?
When you move it, yes, it stays negative. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay. This right here, we know how to do this, correct?
Yes.
I mean, this is not new. Distribute, combine like terms, move the smaller variable, move the constant, move the coefficient. That's not new. This part's new. The other part is, you guys, do you know that an inequality, in an equation, there's one answer, right? X equals 10. Y equals -8, right? We have an answer. This has infinite answers. Can you tell me one possible answer for x is less than or equal to -10?
Wait, negative
Landon.
4?
Not -4. -4 is bigger than -10, and I want
Oh,
less than or equal to -10.
negative 20.
-20.
Negative 22.
-22.
Negative 50.
Would -11 work?
Yes, it would.
Would -10 work?
Yes, because it's equal to.
Because it has an equal to. So, here are the extras. This is the new part. And we're going to practice, so don't panic. You can show this, you can represent this on a graph. So, greater than or less than, this is new. Greater than or less than is an open dot. Meaning, if the number is -10, if it said x is less than -10, I would draw a fence around -10. The answer cannot be -10, but it can be really close to it, but it can't be in that zone. It's keeping our information away from it. If it is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it's a closed dot. I'm going to shade it in because it's a possible solution.
Wait, so like one of the answers could be
when we make a graph, you're going to fill in a dot at that number, at -10, if it was equal to. If it was not equal to, you would not fill in your dot at -10. You'd leave it open. And then here's the secondary new part. If it's the variable is greater than, or the variable is greater than or equal to, where does x, where do numbers on a number line get bigger? Which direction? To the right, right? We shade, and we call it up, which is to the right. Because numbers go up means it gets bigger. If it's x is less than, or x is less than or equal to, which way do numbers get less than?
Left.
To the left, where numbers get smaller, going
Straight down.
down.
Boom.
Now we're going to practice, so don't panic yet.
Is this only on a graph? I hope
This is only on a graph, and it's really, right now, this year in pre-algebra, next year it'll be different, but in pre-algebra, it's on a number line. It's not even on a coordinate graph.
Considering this year.
It gets harder next year, just like most things, right? All right, so let's practice. Practice. Ready? All right, let's do a big one. -8 times 1 minus 3k is less than or equal to 4 times
Can we do this by ourselves?
No.
1 plus 5k plus 8k. Again, this is why, just so that you are aware of this, we have our notes on this side that tell us what to do, and our problem here. So we can have it open and see both of them, right? We can see our steps to do as we're doing the example. Do you see that?
Yes,
It's amazing, right?
I know.
So we're looking at the steps while we're doing the problem. Here's the problem. Look at your steps. What's step number 1? Distribute. Do I need to distribute? Yes. -8 times 1 is -8. -8 times -3k is positive, right? 24k is less than or equal to. Do I need to distribute over here? 4 times 1 is 4 times positive 5k is, Emmanuel, take out your earbud, plus 8k. Step number 1, remember I wrote it down over here,
Yes.
distribute. Then my step number 2, do I need to combine like terms? Oh, I do. -8 plus 24k is greater than or equal to 4 plus 28k. That was nice. I got to do step 2. Step number 3 says Do I need to move the smaller variable? And guess what?
You do.
I do. I have two variables. So I'm going to take the smaller guy and put it over here. So I'm going to subtract 24k. So I have -8. That disappears. And I have less than or equal to 4 plus 4k. Step number 1, distribute. Step number 2, combine like terms. Step number 3, move the smaller variable. Remember, you can skip any of them, but you always have to ask them in that order. Step 4, is there a constant? This guy right here. -4, correct? -8 minus 4 is -12. Is less than or equal to
4K.
4k. Because this is unbalanced. Last but not least, step number 5, is there a constant?
-3.
Is there a constant?
There isn't.
There is a constant. What is the constant?
4.
The constant is 4. It's positive, so I do not have to flip anything. If this was a -4, I would have to flip. But my constant is 4.
You mean coefficient is 4.
Yep, that's what I meant. My coefficient is 4. My constant is also 4, in my defense.
See, I knew it.
But my coefficient is 4.
So divided by 4.
So I'm dividing by 4. I'm not dividing by negative. It's a positive, right? My answer's negative, but my coefficient was positive. I do not flip anything.
Okay. Wow. -3 less than or equal to K.
Okay, here's my problem. I want to read it variable first.
Is it a requirement? Okay.
Yes, because we have to graph it, and I'm graphing K, right? So instead of reading it from right to left, I read it from, right? Or from left to right, I read it from right to left. I read it backwards. So read it to me right now. Backwards. K.
Greater than or equal to -3. Yes. Wait, what?
There we go. Remember, the greater thing, the alligator eats whatever's bigger, right?
Yeah.
So K is bigger, meaning K is greater than or equal to -3. Look, I rewrote it. K is greater than or equal to -3. So if I was going to graph this, 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
I know how to graph this. Would you put line?
Here's -3, right? Look at that new information we wrote on the other side of our notes. Look at the new information we wrote on the other side of our notes. Is this an open dot or a closed dot?
It's a close. What's that?
Look,
It's a closed dot.
it's a closed. It has an equal to. So I'm going to draw a closed dot.
Oh my god, I got these on like one of my tests.
And is K bigger, greater,
Yeah.
or is K smaller? K is bigger. Which way do numbers get bigger?
Right.
To the right, going up. So we'll shade
Shade up.
this way.